Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cloverly Academy. My name is Sophia Wardell, and today we have a very special guest, romance author and social media extraordinaire, Dr. Melissa Dymond. Dr. Melissa Dymond is a DO and the author of 3 novels, Holiday Wedding, Holiday Star, and Paging Dr. Hart. Each novel has a spicy and sweet version for purchase. Thanks for joining us today, Melissa.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Sure, we're so excited to have you. And today I want to talk all about spicy versus sweet romance.
Okay, that sounds great. So, as you know, I offer all my books in 2 versions. So I have a sweet version, which is only kissing, doesn't go beyond that. And then I have a spicy version, which is spicy, not crazy spicy, but definitely has those intimate moments between the characters. And I do that because there's such a broad range in romance readers and what they prefer. Some people love spice and some people are really uncomfortable with it. And when I was writing my first book, I was kind of looking at my group of friends. I have a really great group of friends who are super supportive, and like some of them just really don't like spice, and then others love it. And I was thinking it would be so nice if they could all read this book I'm working on. And so then I was like, well, why can't they? Like, I can change the book and still have the main plot points be the same and have kind of the main features of the book remain consistent, but make one without spice and then one with. So that's what I did.
Right, it's really interesting, and it just broadens your market so much. Now, how do you ensure that both versions do maintain the same core emotional depth and story while catering to these different audiences?
Yeah. So I was actually a little naive when I first thought of this plan. I thought, well, it'll be really easy. I'll just cut out, there's like 3 spicy scenes. I'll just chop out those chapters and, make the transition. And then when I got into actually writing it, I realized it's so much more than that because it's really about how the characters are looking at each other in the spicy versions. They're looking at each other with like more lust and desire. They're picturing each other like, oh, he's going to go take a shower. Like that's exciting. In the sweet version, like they can't think like that. They have to be more, a little bit more like kind of affection and longing, but still kind of keep that passionate undertone to it without being as explicit. And so I really had to go back and change the tone of each book and really make it consistent for the sweet readers and the spicy readers. So it's much bigger of a rewrite than I had anticipated originally. But the main, plot points are actually not about that part of the relationship. It's about that emotional connection. It's about the subplots to the story. So it's actually pretty easy to keep those parts consistent.
Right, and in keeping those parts consistent, it sounded like though you changed the tone, you didn't necessarily have to change the pacing of the story too much.
No, I didn't change the pacing. I didn't change any of the subplots, except for like the most recent book I wrote, Holiday Wedding. That one I had to change some of the subplots because in the spicy version, at this point, the couple's engaged and they're living together, but in the sweet version, they're not living together because the sweet readers don't want that. So there was a lot of like going back and realizing that I had said like, oh, we sat down on our couch in the spicy version. I had to be like, no, no, on his couch in the sweet version. So some of those I did have to change, but like overall, the main plot is consistent between the two of them and the pacing is unchanged.
Wow, that's very interesting. Now, you had mentioned that your audience has responded extremely positively to having these 2 versions. Do you approach marketing the 2 versions differently?
I don't. I just market them as one. And then if you go to like my Amazon page, the first thing you'll see is it says, please note this book is offered in 2 versions. There's a sweet version and a spicy version. But as far as production, it is like a different process to produce. I'm basically producing 2 books. So I'm using 2 separate ISBNs. They're separately listed on Amazon. One says like Holiday Star, a sweet, holiday romance. One says Holiday Star, a spicy holiday romance. And then as far as like editing, proofreading, covers, all that is almost not quite double the cost, but there is a significant cost addition to writing the 2 versions.
Hmm. And have you noticed differences in feedback or sales between the sweet and spicy versions?
Yeah, so the sales of the spicy like way outpaces the sweet version. So I was looking at the data the other day, and like for Holiday Star, my debut novel, for pages read by Kindle Unlimited readers, like the spicy version, Holiday Star has almost 6 million pages read, and the sweet version has like under 300,000. So that's a huge difference sales wise. So if you're looking at from a purely financial perspective, you could easily argue it's not worth doing 2 versions. For me, I just get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I think as far as feedback, the sweet readers are so appreciative. Like they've really been left out a little bit by mainstream romance. And they just really have given me such like grateful feedback that they really appreciate having this option. And some of the things that I didn't even think about when I first came up with this that have come to fruition have been like so satisfying, as far as like things like book clubs. I have book clubs that reach out to me, and they're like, some of our readers like spicy, some of our readers like sweet. We have a hard time picking out books, but now if your book, our entire book club read your book, we read what we preferred, and we had a great discussion about it. Or buddy reads, like I had a mom and a daughter reach out, and it was like so touching, because the mom reads sweet and clean and the daughter loves spicy, and they were like, we read your book as a buddy read, and like it was the first time that we could really connect over a book, because we both are big readers, we both love romance, but we could have these great discussions about your book. And so that to me was like priceless, you know?
Right. That's very rewarding because for monetization purposes only, you would say go spicy if that's what's important. But I think that not only has spicy and sweet opened up for you to cater to any reader that's interested in remote romance, but it's also allowed you to just have a really rewarding experience as an author and connect with everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, really financial, go with spicy. But like for me, the like emotional payoff has been huge doing both.
well, Melissa, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on spicy versus sweet romance.
Thank you.
Lastly, where can our listeners find and connect with you?
So all of my books are listed on Amazon, obviously. And then I am on social media. Melissa Dymond author. My last name is Dymond, and I'm most active on Instagram. So on Instagram, I'm there basically every day, checking things out. There's a great book community there, and it's a really welcoming place. So that's probably the best way to connect with me. I do also have a website, Melissa Dymond author.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's interview with romance author and social media extraordinaire, Dr. Melissa Dymond. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.